Julio, Landon, and Nate are dividing a large bag of candy. They randomly split the bag into 3 bowls. The values of each of the 3 bowls in the eyes of each of the players are shown here. Okay, so there's our table of data. Which of the 3 bowls is a fair share to Landon? Okay, so this goes to the idea, the main idea here is the idea of fair share. What is a fair share? Well, I think we all sense what a fair share is, right? If I had, say, $15 and I was going to divide it among 3 people, what would be a fair share for each person? Of course, it would be divided by 3, right? It'd be $5 each. Anybody who got more than $5, we would say they got more than a fair amount. And anybody that got less than $5, we would all say they got less than a fair share. So a fair share, then, if we could define what a fair share is, a fair share is the total divided by n, where n is the number of people that we're dividing it up among, right? So $15 was the total amount of money divided among 3 people, gave us $5 for each person to be a fair share. So that's the definition of what a fair share is. It's the total divided by the number of people. I think you already knew that. It's common sense. So now, if we're going to figure out, let's do it for Landon. For Landon, we've got Landon as you might wonder why these numbers are different. Well, it's because different people have different value systems. See, that's the trick in this chapter. Fair share is going to be different for each person. If it's just straight money, that's pretty easy, but this is candy. Some people like chocolate candies. Some people like other kinds of candies. Different people have different values. So there's a large bag of candy. Some people might prefer, Easter candy might prefer jelly beans to chocolate bars. It's just going to be, whatever your taste is. So for Landon, so they took the large bag of candy and they randomly split the bag into 3 bowls. So they just took a huge bag and broke it at random into 3 bowls. And then each of these 3 kids, Julio, Landon, and Nate, they each looked at the bowls and they decided what they thought the bowls of candy were worth to them. Monetary value. Landon thought bowl number 1 was worth $2. Bowl number 2, $4.25. Bowl number 3, $1.75. So he really liked bowl number 2. Whatever was in there, he thinks that's more valuable. But that's not exactly how the other people feel. Julio, for example, he thinks bowl number 1 is the best one. That's worth $2.50, but it's not a lot better than bowl 2 or bowl 3 to him, whereas Landon really likes bowl 2. And then Nate, he's not as much into candy. See how he has a lower value system for all the bowls? He doesn't have as much of a sweet tooth. But he still thinks bowl 3 is the best. He thinks that's worth $2, twice as valuable as what's in bowls 1 and 2, but he still doesn't value it very much. Okay, so how then are we going to find a fair share? Because that's what they're asking. A fair share for Landon. Well, we got to take the total divided by the number of people. We know there's 3 people, but we got to get the totals. So let's do that. Let's come over here and find the total for each of these individuals. So first off, what's the total? Erase what we've got here. What's the total for Julio? If I add up these numbers, this plus this plus this, what do I get? I'm going to use my calculator. I'm getting $6. $6 total. So Julio thinks all the bowls together, all the candy together is worth $6. Landon, what does he think? $1.75 and $4.25 and $2. He thinks it's worth $8. He thinks the candy's got more valuable. And then Nate, you can tell that without a calculator. 1, 1, and 2, that's $4. So there's the total value of all the candy for each of those three. Now, to find the fair share, what do we got to do? Take the total and divide by n. So fair share is going to equal total divided by 3 because there are 3 people in this problem. So $6 divided by 3 is $2 for Landon. That's a fair share to Landon. Next, I'm sorry, that was for Julio. That was Julio. Now Landon, $8 total divided by 3. So that comes out $2, and it goes 6 is forever. I'll round it to the nearest penny. $2.67. Finally, Nate, $4 total divided by 3 people. That's $1.33. So that's the fair share. Those are the fair share amounts. $2, $2.67, and $1.33. That's what they think is a fair share. So in other words, Landon is the one we're being asked about. Landon thinks all the candy together is worth $8. Since there's 3 people divided by 3, he thinks if he gets $2.67 or better, he'll be getting a fair share. So if you gave him bowl number 1, which he said is only worth $2, he would not think he was given a fair share. If you gave him bowl number 2, which is $4.25, he thinks it's worth $4.25. That's how he sees it based on the candy he likes that's in that bowl. He would think you're giving him more than a fair share. So bowl number 2, for sure. If you gave him bowl number 3, he thinks that's only candy and there's only worth $1.75. That's less than what he thinks a fair share would be for him. And so only bowl number 2 would be a fair share for Landon. So that's all they're asking about in this problem, but let's go on and finish the rest. What about for Julio? Which ones are fair shares for Julio? Julio thought the total value of all the candy was $6 divided by 3 people. $2 or more is a fair share to Julio. So that would be bowl number 1 only. In Julio's eyes, only bowl number 1 is a fair share. And then finally, the last one is going to be Nate. Nate thought $4 was the total value of all the candy divided by 3 people. $1.33 is a fair share. So that for him, that would just be bowl number 3 that's more than it's $1.33 or more. So basically, if we gave Julio bowl 1, gave Landon bowl 2, and gave Nate bowl 3, they would all feel that they got a fair share of the candy based on how they valued the candy. That's what's interesting here is with this method, we're able to take 3 people that have 3 totally different value systems about what kind of candy they like and just ask them what they value and divide them all by 3 and find a fair way of breaking up the candy so that each person would walk away according to their value system feeling that they were given a fair deal. So there we go. That's the method of, that's indicating what a fair